Hey, you guys, this is your girl, Ebony Nicole, with another episode of the Black Authors Rock podcast. As y'all know, I am always excited to interview authors. So this one right here is very special to me. Okay, so we're going to get into it. But first, you as always, make sure if you are watching this on Facebook that you like and share, comment. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow us. And at the end, I will give you all of the handles for each of those platforms to do so. I am the vice president, as you all know, I'm the vice president of the Rochester Black Authors Association. And today, this is near and dear to me, because today we have not only my friend, not only one of my editors, okay, but she is also the executive secretary of the Rochester Black Authors Association. So, darling, tell us who you are and a little bit about, just tell us a little bit about who you are.
Of course. So again, my name is CaTyra Polland. I'm the CEO of Love for Words, which is a nonfiction editing and copywriting boutique. I'm also a 9-time published author. I'm a speaker and a poet. So I love to read and write. So becoming an editor was really a natural transition for me. And I specifically work with Black female entrepreneurs to help them become published authors, ages 30 to 60 here in the United States. And I'm very passionate about making sure that our stories are told the way that they should be, with respect, with value, with love, appreciation, and all the things that we're often told we don't deserve. And by us, I mean Black authors. So I am very much passionate about that. And I don't only work with Black female authors. I do have a few males that I've worked with, and I'm open to working with Black male entrepreneurs as well. So I'm not leaving you fellas out, just FYI. But my target market is other Black female entrepreneurs like myself, because we have things that we need to say, and we deserve, an avenue to be able to share that. And just to give one of the main reasons I became an editor is I wanted to close that gap between Black authors and Black editors. Because I'm sure, as all of the authors know, there's a veil that's there when a Black person hands over their manuscript to a white editor. It just comes with the territory. That's what we were taught. So there are lots of racial bias that come through, lack of understanding, lack of appreciation for the Black culture. So if you are working with a white editor, those things might come to the surface, and you'll find yourself not only being critiqued on your manuscript, but judged for who you are. Because your culture is considered inferior. So that's just a little bit about why I decided to become an editor, and what drives my passion to continue to do this work with specifically Black authors.
Listen, I don't know what else to. So that was the end of the interview.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Because that was it. Listen, because all of what you said is very important. As a published author and also as a publisher and writing coach, the disconnect and just happenstance that all three of my editors are women and Black women, and just by happenstance that my two graphic designers, one is a Black woman, one's a Black man, it just happened to fall that way. But when it comes to editing, we know our language, our lingo, we understand. Like you said, when it comes to those who are not African-American Black editors, they may be like, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? Not only do you ask those questions as well, but for the surface part, it won't translate very well. And they'll be trying to change names. No, ma'am, that's how you spell it. That's how you pronounce it. Don't do it. So, what is it that you love? Your website, if your business is Love for Words, what is it that you love about words? Not just for other people's work, but for yourself as a poet.
Yes. Just the power of words. You can literally pick a word that changes your entire mindset. You can pick a word that changes your entire your world and your perspective. So I think it's very important for us to choose our own words for our stories, but more importantly, choose our words to describe ourselves.
Oh,
So often, people will ask, there are a lot of people who maybe have low self-esteem or they struggle with that and they find it difficult to say something positive about themselves. So all of that comes from words. Your thoughts come from words and what you believe about yourself. So I'm actually working on a manuscript now, and one of the things that the client was saying is she went to therapy, and her therapist just asked her, what do you think about yourself? And she couldn't come up with an answer. But when the therapist asked, what do others think about you? She had all of these different things to say. So for me, words really, shape who you are as a person. So that's why I love being able to use words to describe, myself, describe other people. So with the copywriting piece of what I do, like I help people with their bios and their, business summaries. And again, I mean, a lot of times you could see a before and after of a bio, and it's like you described a completely different person. Even with myself, like I rewrote my own bio this year because I did a class about how to write your bio and write business summary. And I realized that I needed to take some of my own advice. So so it's just really important. And I think, words really do start with, it's just the basis for how your life unfolds. What names were you called? How were you referred? What's the tone of voice that people, talk to you in as you were growing up? Because all of those things will be at the surface as you mature and as you become an adult. I heard a statistic that 80% of our trauma stems from childhood. So again, what
I
type of
can
words
believe
did you
that.
what type of words did you hear in your household that you're continuing to repeat or that you've internalized? So for me, words are about the core of who you are
Yeah.
and how you see yourself, and how you see yourself is how you project yourself to the world, and it influences how others see you as well.
So words truly do matter. And
Yeah.
I believe once people realize that those words that you think and those words that you speak, you hear them first. And if you say something negative about you to the world, then and they would say it right back,
Yeah.
you said it first.
Yeah, I know it's a popular saying like sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
That's
But
not true.
that is furthest from the truth.
Absolutely.
Words are very painful. You can literally, have memories of things that were said to you, and you
Yeah.
just hear it in your mind.
You hear
Or
it. Yep.
yeah, so it's just like I don't believe that. I mean, as we grow up, we're told that that's the case, but as you go through life, you realize that words can be just as painful as sticks and stones.
Truly. And I personally just hit me with a stone. Just go ahead and throw a stone at me because at least I can recover from that. I might look at stones differently, but the words do. It does. It just it's like a what they call them, earworms. You
Yeah.
can't get rid of them. No, sometimes you can be on your way to doing something great, and then that
Yeah.
one thing somebody said will just derail you completely.
Mm-hmm.
Derail you completely.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you tell another poet who they're used to speaking their words, or maybe just simply just writing, but never decided, or maybe be on a cusp of actually wanting to publish? What would you say for them?
Well, I mean, you don't just because you write doesn't mean you have to publish. So some people just write for themselves.
Mhm.
So if you are not ready to share or you just don't want to, you're doing it for therapy,
Yeah.
then you're not required to publish. So
Mhm.
you make that decision for yourself. But if you're like nervous about it, then you would connect with other professionals who've done what you're looking to do. So you can connect with someone who's already published a book of poetry, ask them about their journey. How did they get past that nervousness or that anxiety to publish poetry that is near and dear to their heart, or talk about things that hurt them or things that they've gone through, or
Yeah.
share their joys, because not just negative. You won't necessarily just be nervous about sharing negative experiences. Some people are afraid of success, so they might not want to put that poem that they won the
Yeah.
award or that they won the grant, or that, these positive things are in their lives, because they feel like people will, maybe be envious, or maybe they feel like they don't deserve them, or if they think that they publicize these things that they'll be snatched away. So there are a lot of people who are afraid to share their successes too, or the things that are going well. So again, connecting with people who've already published poetry, talking to them. You can even practice, if you're looking to start performing your poetry, you can like self-record and then watch yourself back until you get the confidence to do it publicly.
I like
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, so there's different ways that you can build your confidence to get to the publishing phase. And the great thing about self-publishing is you set your own timeline,
Yeah.
unlike with traditional publisher that's very stringent and they have, deadlines and you have to get it in XYZ. But if you're a self-publisher, or self-published author, there's really no deadline to do it. So you might write your book and then not publish it for a few more years.
Yeah.
But everything happens when it's supposed to. Just, you have to do the work. You have to work through those feelings and emotions and get to a point where you feel like you're ready to tell the world.
So I know you published one book or one nonfiction and then 2 books of poetry. Your last one, Love August, Dear August, there was some personal works in there.
Mhm.
How did you get to the point where you were like, I'm ready to finally share some? Because it was at the signing, you read Mocha Truck. How do you say it?
Mocha Truck latte.
And you actually did a business off of that. So we're going to talk about that too. But that poem made you tear up and you stopped and you cried. How do you get, as someone who's sharing, her words, how do you get to a place where you're comfortable to actually do that? Because you said people have to get comfortable to share their words. How do you get there?
I think a lot of it comes from knowing that you're not alone. So, I mean, I follow, quite a few groups that do uplift and celebrate dark-skinned women specifically. So I know that I'm not the only one who has faced this type of discrimination or been affected by it. So I feel empowered to be able to share my story, also to impact and inspire other women and girls who have gone through that. So I think it's just realizing that, there are other people who have experienced this, and I'm sharing so that they know it's okay to share. It's okay to admit that you have been hurt by this, or share that you're looking to combat this, colorism. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of recognizing there's others who can relate to you, and that you're not just sharing for yourself. It's therapy, but you're also wanting to make sure that other people, can see that you are working through it, or that you're, fighting against this, whatever ism it is, and that you're not giving up or letting it get the best of you. So that's what really helped me share.
And I don't want to say inspiring author, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, your words matter. And if you believe that they do, if you are on the cusp, you're like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, find that courage inside to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to share with the world. And even if you are a poet or poetess and you're not quite ready to publish, do what CaTyra suggested. Record yourself. And when you become comfortable with what you see on that recording, go ahead and share it. You never know. People might be like, okay, let me hear some more, or, welcome you to their different platforms. And hey, do you want to recite we're doing this poetry slam. Do you want to come on? And all these different avenues may open up to you, but you first got to be comfortable. And I think that is one of the part of the journey for any author, whether poets or nonfiction writer, fiction writer, it's about being comfortable. So you wrote your poem and you built a business off of that. Tell us about your business.
Yeah, so the Mocha Truck latte brand is really a brand that uplifts and celebrates dark-skinned women and girls specifically, but can apply to men and boys as well. And I created the brand again just to bring awareness to colorism. There's been a lot of growth in talking about it, And it's been more in the forefront, which of course is always a great thing. We can't address a problem if we're not willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I created it. At this point, I have the Facebook page and I have Instagram. What I would like to do is move into getting ambassadors for it. I haven't executed that as of yet, but those are some of the goals that I do have so that we can put a face to the brand. I did have like a launch photo shoot. So we do have models who, are representing the women and girls who have experienced this or been impacted by it. It is a trademark brand, so I was really happy.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
That was
was it
exciting.
January, February?
Yeah. I don't remember. I think it was sometime last year.
Was it last year?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I remember seeing it.
But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And again, it's a start, and I plan to grow it. But of course, everything happens, in the order it's supposed to. But I'm glad that I was able to go ahead and trademark and get, models and photos. I do have shirts and mugs. So you can actually go to my Facebook page. Can you put that in the
Yep, I'll put your. Yep, I'll get it out. Yes, I will make sure. To make sure your information.
Yeah, it's on Facebook and Instagram, but you can head over there and grab a shirt and a mug, or one or the other. And again, it's just a brand to be able to bring it to the forefront and realize it exists. But more importantly, that we can be a part of the solution and making sure that, colorism is something we move past.
See, you can have a book and it could spark something else. It could be the launch pad. I've said this many, many times throughout this journey of what this podcast is. Your book can launch so many different things. So many ideas can come, not just the next book, but a business can come from that. So any authorpreneurs, if you are an author, look at ways to build your platform beyond the book. What more can you do? What more can you draw out? So that is very, 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 very important. One other thing I just want to say is with CaTyra being me and CaTyra met 2016.
I think so.
2016. Mm-hmm. And I sent her and another editor that I was vetting a chapter from my book to see what they could do, right? The other editor sent me back. She was like, what you want me to do with this? Edit. It was like, well, because I did it, no questions asked. And then she sent it back to me. I was like, oh, how can you do this for me? Can you do the whole book? And so we've been rocking and rolling ever since then. I'm telling you, if you are looking for a quality editor, everybody can't edit. Everybody. Did y'all hear me? And I'm telling y'all this because my very, very first editor, y'all spent $2,500 between two editors and a proofreader. And do y'all know what the number one problem was? The editing. Give me a minute. I'm okay. I'm not gonna cry. But I would say this: look for your quality editor. Send them like, hey, can you sample? Can you do a sample? What do you want? Like a page or
1 to 3 pages.
1 to 3 pages. Can you edit this and see what he or she can do? And then you go from there. Ask for referrals. They're all over her website, on her social media. She always shares what her clients have to say, so you know that you have someone who has done the work. Okay, so as long as she's in business, she got me. And I would just say this: don't be trying to take my editor, because when I need work done, I don't want to hear I can't because I got these whole bunch of clients over here. Somebody got to jump off. That's just me being like
selfish.
Huh?
Selfish.
My bad. So, CaTyra, I want you to tell, because we're almost out of time, but I want you to tell people how they can connect with you. And if they want to just pick up a book, or they want you to sample their work to see if you are fit for them. And one thing you do is when you ask, I remember having to fill out the application or the form, which is very detailed. I think is very, very good. So how would people get in contact with you to?
Yes. So if you're interested in a consultation or a sample edit, you can go right to my website. That's love4words.com. And on the homepage, you'll see consultation, and you'll fill that out. It asks you questions about your manuscript. What is it about? Why did you write it? How long is it? What are the most important areas that you want the editor to focus on? All the important details I need to know. And then you'll also attach your sample to that consultation form. Once you fill that out, you will get a calendar where you can schedule a call with me. And once we have the call, that's when we'll talk about that sample edit. And I'll give you my feedback and, suggestions. We'll have a conversation, and then we'll determine if it's a good fit for us to work together. If so, we'll move into the contract and the invoice. But for, as far as working with Love for Words, the most important part is going to be the relationship. I always pride myself on making sure that my clients feel comfortable working with me, that they feel like, if they have questions they can ask, or if they have feedback, they can share it. And not just positive feedback, because as entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, we know we get both. There are going to be some clients who are satisfied, others who are not. But I encourage all of you entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are listening to take heed to the not so pleasant feedback, because that's what's going to make you a better business person. It's great to hear what you've done well, and I love getting the positive testimonials. That's wonderful. However, when I get that constructive criticism, I look at that and say, you know what? This client is right. This is going to be better. And even if you don't agree with it, that's not the time to be combative. But if they're giving you constructive feedback, make sure you're taking that into consideration. But yes, you can head over to my website, love4words.com, if you'd like to schedule that consultation. I also have a podcast, Editor Knows Best, so you can tune in. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can tune in. We do accept guests as well. The sign up is on my website under the media page. Again, the website is love4words.com. All my contact information is on the website. You can email me, poland@love4words.com. And find all of my social pages are right on the website too. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only CaTyra Polland on LinkedIn, so that'll be easy.
I stuck with LinkedIn.
You gotta reschedule. We had a call, but
yes. Listen, I'm gonna say this. People have told me you need to be on LinkedIn. You need to be on LinkedIn. You'll find a lot of clients on LinkedIn. You need to be on, but I'm like, I don't like LinkedIn. So I'm gonna do it. I'm losing out as an entrepreneur. I'm leaving money on the table by not being where my potential clients are. So I'm gonna hop on over to the LinkedIn world. I might have to find me somebody who can run LinkedIn for me, because So, do you have any last words for the people?
Just, if there's something that you want to pursue it, it's easier, sometimes it's easier said than done. We have to walk through some tough paths to get where we want. But if it's something that you can conceive in your mind, you can definitely make it come to fruition. So just don't give up, and find your tribe who will support you on the journey, because there are plenty of people and resources who will.
There you go. That's it, you guys. She said it all. I hope y'all grab these gems, because if not, just go ahead and replay it again, okay? Just replay it again. So, as always, if you would like to be our guest, if you like to chat with me, with your girl, Ebony Nicole, head on over to our website, rockbaa.org, to register. You could do so for free. We do ask for a $10 donation, but it's just an ask. If you can't do it, if you don't want to do it, it's fine. Just go ahead and still register, okay? You can find us on Instagram at rock_BAA. You can also find us on Facebook at RockBAA 2015 and on YouTube under the Rochester Black Authors Association. And what I'm so excited about is we are having the 6th annual Rochester Black Authors Expo on June 4th of this year. I don't know, I always say this year like it's next year coming up, but of this year here in Rochester, New York. So far, we have people coming from Chicago, New Orleans, and so I forget the ladies coming from Michigan. Ohio, is it Ohio or Chicago?
I thought it was Ohio.
Okay, Ohio or Chicago, one of the two. New Orleans, I know is on there, and the lady coming from Michigan, and as well, authors from here in Rochester. If you would like to join us, head on over to our website, rockbaa.org, to register. It's going to be an amazing weekend. We got 2 days with you guys, and we are excited, okay? And if you would like to have your work featured on our Instagram, go ahead and shoot us an email and let us know when your book, send us a book cover, information about you, and we will have you featured. Until next time, you guys, this is your girl, Ebony Nicole, the Vice President of the Rochester Black Authors Association. And this has been another episode of the Black Authors Rock Podcast. Until next time, get the book done.